We look up at the night sky, we see the familiar glowing orb, the moon. It has watched over humanity since the dawn of time, a silent guardian, a comforting light in the dark. But it only ever shows us one face. For millennia, the other side remained a secret, a realm of pure shadow and untamed imagination. Then, humanity did the unthinkable. We flew past the edge, we crossed the boundary of the known world into the vast unknown. What the astronauts saw there defied all earthly expectations. It was a sight impossible to forget, a revelation that shifted human consciousness forever. Tonight we will take that very same journey together. You do not need a spacesuit, you do not need to understand complex physics. All you need is to leave the noise of the Earth behind. Breathe deeply, let gravity release its tight hold on your shoulders. Relax your mind. We are going to the far side of the moon. And what we find there will bring you a peace you have never felt before. To truly understand the profound magnitude of this journey, we must look back into history. The year is 1968. The Apollo 8 spacecraft is tearing through the silent vacuum of space. Until this pivotal moment, no human being had ever left the gravitational embrace of Earth. No human eyes had ever looked directly upon the hidden side of our lunar neighbor. You see, the moon is tidally locked to Earth. This means its rotation matches its orbit perfectly. It hides its back from us, creating a perpetual blind spot in our night sky. For centuries, myths spoke of incredible things hidden in that darkness. Legends whispered of alien bases, hidden oceans, or glass towers shimmering in the dark. But the truth waiting for the Apollo crew was far more profound, far more beautiful, and entirely silent. It was a truth of magnificent desolation, a silence so absolute, so heavy, it could almost be heard. Now imagine you are sitting in that tiny command module. The hum of the earthly world fades away. The roaring engines go completely quiet. Outside your window, the silver edge of the moon is approaching. The journey into the ultimate unknown is about to begin. But how does it feel to approach the edge of the known? Imagine looking through the thick quartz window of the spacecraft. The moon is no longer a small, flat disk hanging in the sky. It is growing. It is expanding until it fills your entire field of vision. It becomes a massive, curving world of grey and white. You can see the texture of the ancient surface, the gentle curves of the craters, the absolute stillness of a world untouched by wind or rain. It is a mesmerizing sight, the ultimate symbol of tranquility. You are drifting closer, weightless, entirely at peace. As we slip further behind the lunar curve, something remarkable happens. The radio crackles and then absolute silence. We lose signal with Earth. The mass of the moon physically blocks all communication. For the first time in your life, you are truly cut off from the noise of the world. No news, no voices, no demands, just the deepest, most profound isolation imaginable. But this isolation is not scary, it is intensely comforting. It is a protective blanket woven from the fabric of space itself. You are perfectly safe in this quiet void. Let us clear away a common myth right now. Many people call it the dark side of the moon, but this is not entirely true. It is simply the far side. As we orbit around the back, the sun's brilliant rays wash over the surface. The landscape is illuminated in striking high-contrast light. The shadows stretch long and sharp across the grey dust. There is no atmosphere to scatter the light, so the contrast between the glaring sunlight and the pitch-black shadows is absolute. It is a masterpiece of light and dark painted across a silent canvas. Now we get our very first glimpse of the hidden terrain. It looks vastly different from the face we see from Earth. The familiar dark patches, the lunar maria, are almost entirely missing. Instead, the surface is heavily scarred, battered, and ancient. It is an endless ocean of craters, stacked upon craters. Think of a rain-swept puddle, frozen perfectly in time, just as 1,000 raindrops hit the surface. It is a testament to the enduring patience of the cosmos. a landscape that has waited billions of years just for you to witness it. We drift silently over this ancient battleground. Notice the absolute silence of the vacuum outside. On Earth, a falling rock makes a sound. A sliding avalanche roars. But here, a mountain could crumble, and it would happen in perfect, absolute silence. Sound cannot travel through the empty vacuum of space. Visualize a giant plume of lunar dust kicked up by a meteorite. It rises gracefully, slowly, and falls back to the ground without a single whisper. This silent ballet of physics is deeply soothing to the mind. As we glide over the surface, we pass over the Sea of Moscow. Despite the name, you will find no water here. Early astronomers believed the dark patches on the moon were oceans, leading to romantic names, but the reality is a vast plain of solidified basaltic lava. Imagine a dark, smooth scar cutting across the rugged highlands. It is a quiet reminder of a time when this dead world was violently active. Now the lava is frozen forever, a permanent monument to stillness, a sleeping giant that will never wake. Look down at the colossal South Pole Aitken Basin. It is one of the largest, oldest, and deepest craters in the entire solar system. It is a massive depression stretching across the lunar surface like a giant protective bowl. Imagine standing at its center. The rim would be so far away it would vanish behind the curvature of the moon itself. You would feel incredibly small, yet perfectly embraced by the sheer scale of the universe. It is a humbling, grounding feeling that washes away all earthly anxieties. Every crater we fly over tells a story of cosmic history. This side of the moon acts as a shield for our Earth. It has taken countless hits from roaming asteroids over eons. Think of it as a quiet guardian, bearing the scars of ancient bombardments so that life on Earth could flourish in peace. Every circular depression, every jagged edge, is a frozen memory of a cosmic impact. Visualizing this deep history makes our daily problems feel incredibly small, almost microscopic, melting away into the grand timeline of the universe. If you look closely, the grey is not just one color, it is a symphony of subtle shades. There is charcoal, ash, silver, and slate. In the harsh sunlight, some minerals even glint with a faint, ghostly reflection. Imagine a desert of finely crushed glass rolling endlessly toward the curved horizon. The simplicity of this monochromatic world is a perfect remedy for an overstimulated mind. There are no flashing lights here, no bright artificial colors, only the pure, clean, soothing tones of ancient rock and dust. Feel the vastness of the isolation around you. You are inside a tiny metal capsule, floating in an infinite black ocean. Yet you do not feel claustrophobic. You feel a sense of grand expansion. Your mind is free to wander the endless miles of empty space. Imagine your thoughts leaving the spacecraft, drifting out over the silent craters, expanding outwards until they touch the furthest stars. Here, in the shadow of the moon, there are no boundaries. Your spirit is entirely free to roam. Let us turn our gaze away from the lunar surface for a moment and look out into the deep black. A common myth says that astronauts cannot see stars in space because the sun is too bright. But here, shielded entirely by the mass of the moon, the universe reveals its true face. Without the glare of the sun or the glow of the Earth, the stars do not just twinkle. They burn with a steady, piercing brilliance. The sky is absolutely saturated with light, millions of tiny, perfect diamonds scattered across the velvet dark. The Milky Way is no longer just a faint, cloudy band. Here, in the perfect dark, it is a blazing river of starlight. Imagine a swirling torrent of glowing gas, ancient stars and cosmic dust stretching from one end of your window to the other. It feels so close you could reach out and run your hands through it. You are looking at the very structure of our home galaxy. It is a view of pure, majestic architecture, built by gravity over billions of years. It is breathtakingly beautiful. Looking into this cosmic ocean, you realize the true depth of space. It is not a flat, black ceiling. It is a three-dimensional expanse. You can perceive the distance between the stars. Some are close, burning hot and blue. Others are unimaginably far, glowing with a soft, ancient red. Imagine floating perfectly still, suspended in this endless depth. You are safely cradled in the center of infinity. The vastness does not crush you. It gently holds you, rocking you in the cradle of the cosmos. The psychology of this deep void is fascinating. When astronauts looked out into this unending darkness, they felt a profound sense of awe. The human brain struggles to comprehend infinity, so instead of trying to measure it, the mind simply surrenders to it. Imagine letting go of your need to control, surrendering to the vast, peaceful flow of the universe. In this state of total surrender, true relaxation begins. Your heartbeat slows down, syncing with the slow, eternal rotation of the stars. We drift back toward the lunar surface. Below us is the Tsiolkovsky crater. It is a stunning feature of the far side, a dark, smooth lake of hardened lava with a bright, jagged mountain peak rising perfectly from its center. Imagine this solitary mountain bathed in stark sunlight, surrounded by a sea of shadows. It is an island of light in a dark world, a monument to resilience and quiet strength. Just observing its perfect geometry brings a deep sense of order and calm to your thoughts. Let us consider the very ground below, the lunar regolith. It is not like earthly sand. It was not smoothed by water or wind. It is sharp, microscopic shards of broken glass and crushed rock. Yet from up here, it looks as soft as powdered snow. Imagine a landscape blanketed in grey snow that never melts. A pristine, untouched winter wonderland that stretches across an entire world. It invites a feeling of profound stillness, a desire to simply rest and watch the silent snowfields. It is easy to think of space as just being cold, but the reality is a dramatic dance of extremes. In the direct sunlight, the lunar surface boils at over 200 degrees. In the dark shadows of the craters, it plummets to hundreds of degrees below zero. Yet inside our spacecraft, we are perfectly comfortable. Imagine sitting by a warm fire while a fierce blizzard rages outside. That is the feeling of absolute security we have right now. Protected from the harsh extremes, nestled in our cozy, floating sanctuary. As we orbit, we pass over hidden mass concentrations deep underground. These are called mascons. They are ancient, dense asteroids buried beneath the lunar crust. They actually change the gravitational pull of the moon, gently tugging our spacecraft downwards. Imagine feeling a soft, invisible hand pulling you closer to the dusty surface, then gently letting you go as we fly past. It is the rhythmic, pulsing heartbeat of the moon itself, rocking our ship in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. Look ahead at the lunar horizon. Unlike the Earth, the moon has no atmosphere. There is no hazy gradient fading into the sky. The horizon is a sharp, crisp line. On one side is the brightly lit, glowing grey surface. On the exact other side is the absolute pitch black of space. It is a perfect binary line, the division between matter and the void. Tracing that sharp line with your eyes is incredibly satisfying. It brings a sense of clarity and focus, sweeping away the foggy confusion of a long day. Now a subtle feeling of anticipation begins to build. We are nearing the edge of the far side. The rotation of our orbit is bringing us back toward the light, back toward home. The radio static begins to crackle faintly. The profound isolation is coming to an end. But we are not the same as we were when we entered the shadow. We are cleansed by the silence. Imagine taking a deep breath of crisp, clean air, preparing your eyes for the most magnificent sight in the history of human exploration. Watch the sharp, grey horizon closely. Into the absolute blackness of space, a tiny spark appears. It is a color you have not seen in what feels like an eternity. A bright, vivid, piercing splash of blue. It looks utterly impossible against the endless monochrome of the moon and the void. Imagine a solitary sapphire glowing softly in a room of grey stone. Your eyes immediately lock onto it. The mind instantly recognizes it. It is water. It is life. It is home. This is the moment of Earthrise. Slowly, majestically, our planet creeps up over the dead lunar landscape. It is not rising because the Earth is moving, but because our spacecraft is traveling around the moon. Imagine the breathtaking contrast. In the foreground, the sterile, ancient grey craters, and rising above it, a brilliant jewel of swirling white clouds, deep blue oceans, and hints of brown continents. It is a beacon of warmth radiating through the freezing dark. Seeing the Earth from this distance shatters an old myth. We think of our world as massive, invincible, and endless, but from here, it is heartbreakingly fragile. It is a tiny, delicate marble floating in an overwhelmingly hostile void. The atmosphere, which seems so infinite when we look up from the ground, is just a paper-thin halo of glowing blue light protecting everything we love. Imagine holding a delicate glass ornament in your hands. That is our world. This realization brings a wave of intense, protective love. Look closer at the swirling blue and white sphere. From here, you cannot see borders. You cannot see nations. You cannot see conflict. All the lines drawn on earthly maps do not exist in reality. Imagine a world entirely united, spinning silently in the dark, a single, interconnected system of life. The petty struggles and daily stresses of our lives vanish completely from this vantage point. There is only one home, and it is whole, peaceful, and perfectly balanced. The emotional impact of this sight is almost too much to bear. Astronauts have wept looking at this view. In the zero gravity of space, tears do not fall. They pool in the eyes, creating a shimmering, watery lens through which to view our distant home. Imagine the overwhelming relief of seeing the vibrant colors of life after surviving the stark, dead silence of the far side. It is a feeling of ultimate gratitude, a deep, soulful thankfulness simply to exist. This profound cognitive shift is known as the overview effect. It permanently changes the minds of those who experience it. The realization that everything you have ever known, every person you have ever loved, exists on that tiny blue dot. It forces a complete reset of priorities. Imagine zooming out from your current worries, flying up through the clouds past the moon until your problems are completely invisible. That is the power of the overview effect. Total, liberating perspective. Our spacecraft continues its orbit. The Earth is fully above the horizon now, bathing the dark lunar craters in a soft blue earthshine. The silence of the far side is behind us, replaced by the crackling voices of mission control. We are connected again, but the peace of the deep space void remains within us. Imagine carrying a small piece of that absolute silence inside your chest, a quiet sanctuary you can retreat to whenever the earthly world becomes too loud. The legacy of what they saw behind the moon is captured in photographs, but no picture can truly convey the feeling. The feeling of pure insignificance combined with ultimate belonging. We are made of the same stardust that formed those ancient craters. We are an extension of the universe looking back at itself. Imagine your own body dissolving into starlight, floating freely among the galaxies. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos. As we drift gently back toward our blue home, the urgency of life fades. The gentle pull of Earth's gravity will eventually welcome us back, but there is no rush. We are suspended in perfect equilibrium. Imagine lying on your back, floating on a calm, warm ocean at night, looking up at the stars. That is the feeling of deep space travel. A journey that requires no effort. Only surrender. Only observation. Only peace. The vision of the far side of the moon and the rising Earth will stay with you forever. It is an anchor of tranquility in a chaotic world. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, you only need to close your eyes and remember the absolute silence of the lunar shadow. Remember the brilliant spark of blue rising over the ancient grey dust. Imagine the slow, eternal rotation of the planets. Let the grand, majestic clockwork of the universe rock you gently into a state of deep, unbreakable rest. Our incredible journey around the moon comes to an end. We have braved the deepest isolation known to humanity, and in return we discovered the ultimate peace. We witnessed the ancient scars of the lunar surface, the absolute silence of the cosmic vacuum, and the life-changing beauty of our tiny blue planet rising out of the dark. This perspective is a gift, a reminder that our earthly worries are incredibly small when placed against the magnificent canvas of the universe. Thank you for taking this profound, relaxing flight with us. Remember, whenever the world gets too loud, you can always close your eyes and return to the quiet shadow of the moon. If this cosmic journey brought you tranquility and awe, please subscribe to our channel for more voyages into the peaceful unknown. Before you drift off, tell us in the comments, what cosmic mystery or beautiful space phenomenon brings you the most peace?